Hello everyone, welcome to NumPy course. So in a previous session, we worked with the data types. We saw that how the Boolean data types work. So we'll continue from there. Before we move to the another data types, we should know about that whatever data types we used it follows the three principle. So those three principles are type, size and order. So it will be depend upon the data type, like whatever the data should be to which type, and those already we discussed, that is your integer or boolean type or your characters. Then move to the size. What is the size of the data types? Means values. It should be a 10 array size or 20. We can see with the size of that, and order, which order we need to use that particular data type. So those we have to follow this three principle whenever we use a data object. So let's move to that where we stopped in a previous session. Now we'll be moving towards in a Jupyter notebook to see that how the integer data, float data, complex data will work. Before that, in a previous session, we already look over the Boolean data types, how it's work. So already we import the NumPy, so no need to import now. We'll continue with to see that how the integer data type will be work. So first we need a variable. So we'll go with any variable name, suppose array1 equals to np dot array, and then we have to create a small array. So suppose your 10, 30, 56, 40. Yeah, so we'll create one array and then d type. So whenever we created this particular array, we are moving to the d types of i4, because we want to say that i4 means it should be your integer 32. So we use here for the i4, so comma d type equals to i4. So this is done with the np.array. Then we have to print, and we check that how it will be work. So move to print. First we want to print the array, so or variable, the variable name, and then we want to print array name with the d type, means which type you want to see that particular thing also. So now this will be the output. First one, we print the normal variable. So it shows that whatever the array inside the array variable, whatever values are there, it keeps that. And after that, we are having with the int one, because we put here the data type is I4. So that particular data type, it shows that. So this is how we have to work with the integer data type. Before moving to see that how the float will be work with the help of some keywords, we check out that which keyword or which variable name we use for all the data type. We use some numpy character in data type, like whenever we want to use an integer, we can use, except an integer or in 34, we can use directly I. So you can observe that whenever we want to check that, we put I4, it shows integer 32. So we use a character is I. Then for the boolean we use B. Then for the unsigned integer we use U. Then comes to float for F, and complex for S, and string for S. So this is all the character integer what we use for this particular things whenever you want to use the character directly. So for integer we can use I4, for integer 32. For boolean we can go with the B. Unsigned integer we have to go with the U4, U3, and depend upon that the values. Then same with the F, then complex for C, and the string for S. So it's your wish, you can go with directly with the data types name or with the character. So let's see that how it will be working up practically. Let's move to directly in a Jupyter notebook. Yeah, we are in a Jupyter notebook now. So we'll see that how we'll use the characters, data types character now. So already we imported that, we just run once. So already imported. Now move to here, just to create one variable, suppose VRR, variable name, then np dot array to create. We can take the same values, what values you are taking here. We're just to see that how the character names are using now. So done. Then in this we created those particular thing now for the new variable. So new VRR, I just give the variable name new variable, and the old variable name we have to go with that VRR dot AS type. Now you have to give the type. If you remember when you work with the boolean in this particular, we put the bool. Here we're not giving the int, we except int we are using directly with just the character name, that is I, for the integer. Now print new variable, and then we'll print the with the d type also, we have to print that particular one also, the normal variable. Print new VRR variable dot d type. So this is how we have to work with the normal values. You can observe that it's print the values, then it print the int32. Now suppose we are taking the same values, I just copy paste that value, and we are taking in this time the floating points, not a normal values. We are taking the floats values. So 10 comma 56 or 50, then 30 comma 14, 28 comma 36, 56 dot 57, 40 dot, I'm just taking random values to give a floats value 68. So now another thing, it will be same, we are taking an integer, but we are taking a value in a compile term with the floating points. So when you run this, you can observe that you will get the things here in that way, where in 32, 10, 30, 28, 56, 48, 62 means we are taking a float value, but when we pass the type is integer, it will be taking only the integer value. Whatever the floating points are there, it will not taken as an output. So this is how we have to use the character things. Let's see one more example. When we take except I, we are taking directly the integer. So there is another way also. So I'm taking the same code here, paste it. In this, we can go with int. So you can observe that here also it's take the same value 10, 30, because that is fully your wish. You can go with the data type name, or you can go with the data type character. So this one will be the character, this one will be your data type. So this is how you have to use a integer data type in that. Now we can see that how the other data types, like when you want to use the float, in this particular way, we can go with the floats values. Suppose take this one, paste it. Suppose you want to go with the float. Yeah, so this is how we are using a float. Same way, if you want to use for the character name, take this, paste it. Here we pass F, and it will be in a single quote. That you remember, it should be in a single quote. Yeah, so this is how you have to use your data type in NumPy. As well as if you don't want to use data type name directly, you can use a character name in that.